The sound of something that was solid starting to give way, like the first crack running through the wall. You can hear it before you can see it. I kept telling myself it was fine. I kept reading the signs of something other than what they were. I'm good at that, translating what's wrong into something manageable, something I can carry without it showing. But carrying changes you in ways that don't show up until the weight has already done the damage. And by the time you feel the cracks, they've been there long enough to be structural. I can feel it, something giving way underneath everything I thought was stable. Something I can't name yet, but I know the feeling. I've been here before. Everything I built is showing the same. Nothing is solid as it used to seem. The cracks were always there, I just refuse to look. Everything falls apart before it can be fixed. Feel it breaking, feel it breaking now. There's a version of this where I caught it earlier, where I saw the fracture before it ran all the way through. That version made different choices at the moments that matter, but this version is the one I'm living in. This version is cracks that I can't pretend aren't there anymore. I spent so long making everything look intact from the outside that I forgot the outside isn't the structure. The structure was cracking the whole time I was painting the surface. I can feel it, everything giving way all at once after all this time of holding everything together. Everything I built is showing the seams. Nothing is solid as it used to seem. The cracks were always there, I just refuse to look. Everything falls apart before it can be fixed. Feel it breaking, feel it breaking now. You know what's worse than things falling apart? Knowing they were falling apart the whole time and choosing not to see it, because seeing it would mean dealing with it, and I wasn't ready to deal with it. I'm ready now. Everything I built is showing the seams. Nothing is solid as it used to seem. The cracks were always there, I just refuse to look. Everything falls apart before it can be fixed. Feel it breaking, let it break. Feel it breaking, let it all break open, because broken open is still open, and open is where this starts. guard for without even noticing I dropped it. That's the thing about trust, you don't decide to give calculating, and I stopped calculating around you a long time ago. Which is exactly how you got in, far enough to do the damage you did. I gave you the one thing I don't give anyone, and you used it like it cost you nothing, like it cost you nothing. I fell and you weren't there. I reached back and found nothing. You said catch me, you said trust me, you said I've got you. You were never there, never there, never there. And I'm still falling from where you left me. Oh, from where you left me. I keep replaying it the moment I realize it wasn't a mistake, it wasn't carelessness, it wasn't that you forgot, it was deliberate. And that's the part that changes everything, because mistakes you can forgive, carelessness you can move past, but deliberate says differently. Deliberate means you looked at what I gave you and decided it wasn't worth what it cost you to protect it. I was the cost you were willing to cut. And the worst part isn't what you did, it's that I handed you everything you needed to hurt me, and called it trust. I fell and you weren't there. I reached back and found nothing. You said catch me, you said trust me, you said I've got you. You were never there, never there. And I'm still falling from where you left me. You know what a trust fall is. You close your eyes, you fall backward. You believe someone's there. I close my eyes, I fell backward. You stepped aside. And I'm done falling backward for anyone who treats catching me like a choice. I fell and you weren't there. I reached back and found nothing. You said catch me, you said trust me, you said I've got you. You were never there, you were never there. And I'm done falling for someone who was never going to catch me. Never, not once. You've been hearing in the back of your head for weeks the sound of something that used to hurt and now just sits there. I used to feel everything at full volume, every word landed, every moment registered, everything that happened left a mark, and then one day I noticed the marks weren't forming the way they used to. Something happened, and I waited for the feeling, and the feeling was slower than it should have been, and smaller than the thing deserved. And I thought, that's strange, and moved on. But it kept happening, things that should have hit arriving like they were wrapped in something that absorbed the impact before it reached me. And I don't know when it happened, I don't know when I stopped feeling the way I used to feel. I just know that I did. And some days that feels like relief, and some days that's the scariest thing I know. Going numb again, and I don't know if I should fight it. version of numb, that's protection. The kind that forms around a wound so it can heal without being touched again. I know that version, I've needed that version that's kept me functional in moments that would have otherwise taken me apart. But there's another version that's not protection, that's just the wound winning. And I can't always tell which version I'm in. I just know that right now I'm standing in the middle of something that would have leveled me 6 months ago. And I feel life from very far away. And I don't know if that's strength or if that's the thing that comes after the strength, when strength has been running too long on empty, going numb again. And I don't know if I should fight it, going numb again. Maybe this is just what surviving looks like, going numb again. But what if I go so far I can't find my way back to feeling anything at all, going numb again. What it felt like to feel things fully. I remember when everything landed the way it was supposed to. I'm not sure I'd go back, but I'm not sure I wouldn't. I just know I don't wanna forget that the feeling existed, even if I can't reach it right now. I don't wanna go so far I forget what it felt like to feel something real, going numb again. And maybe I should fight it, going numb again. Maybe this isn't what surviving looks like, going numb again. Because if I go too far I won't find my way back to anything that matters, going numb again. Come back, come back, don't go so far. You can't come back. The quietest opening of the album. New effects, just the sound of an empty room that used to have something in it. There's a kind of empty that doesn't make noise. It just sits there in the middle of everything, taking up space without announcing itself. I've been carrying it since somewhere I can't pinpoint exactly. It arrived gradually the way most heavy things do, not all at once but one small piece at a time, until the weight was just the weight. And now I walk around with this hollow place right in the center, and most days I don't even notice it until something happens that should fill it and doesn't. I keep looking for the thing that used to be here, keep reaching for something that I can't remember well enough to know what I'm missing. I just know something is hollow but still standing, hollow find the right things and you put them in, and eventually the hollow goes away. But I've tried that, and what I found is that the hollow has a specific shape, and nothing fits it exactly, because the thing that made the shape is the thing that left. And you can't fill the shape of something with something else. It just rattles around in there and reminds you of the shape. So I stopped trying to fill it and started trying to understand it, to know what the shape is, to know what it means that this particular thing left this particular space in me, hollow but still standing, hollow but still here. Something took the center out and left the edges, and the edges held, and I'm still standing on the edges of whatever I used to be. Hollow, still here. I think the hollow is just the honest shape of what happened. I think the empty is just the space that tells the truth about what was there. And maybe that's okay. Maybe hollow isn't something to fix. Maybe hollow is just what it looks like to have loved something enough that when it goes, it leaves a real space. Not a small one, a real one. And real spaces mean real things happened, and real things happening, even when they end, even when they leave something hollow behind. You're still the realest thing I know. Hollow, but still standing, hollow, but still here. Something took the center out and left the edges, but the edges held, the edges always held. And I am still every edge of everything I've been, and still here, hollow and still whole. And the only way that counts. But now it feels different. Now the empty has been named, and named things are less frightening than unnamed ones. No warning. The trigger was already pulled before the song started. Yeah. There's a line and you found it not by accident. You were looking for it, testing every wall, every boundary, every place I'd drawn a line around myself to keep exactly this from happening. And I watched you map the perimeter. I watched you find every soft spot, and I told myself you weren't doing what you were doing, because the alternative was knowing that someone I let in was doing it on purpose. But you kept going past every signal, past every moment I gave you to stop. Kept going, and now we're here at the place where I run out of patience and start running out of something else. Something snapped, and I felt it go. Something that was holding finally was underneath the patience. Here it is. The sound of something, the same thing, playing over and over in the room. You can't leave. You can't leave. Some words don't leave. When the conversation ends, they find a room somewhere in the back of everything, and they stay there playing on repeat at a volume nobody else can hear. I've tried ignoring them, I've tried answering them, I've tried arguing with the part of me that keeps replaying them. None of it works because the echo isn't looking for a response. It's just doing what echoes do, bouncing off every wall you have. And the walls are closer together than they used to be. Every time the same words make another pass. Still hear it in the quiet, still hear it in the noise. Something said that shouldn't have been said, found a permanent frequency in the back of everything I do. Still hear it, won't stop, still hear it, can't turn it off. Echoes of the thing that left a mark, even after everything else faded. Everything else faded. The specific words aren't even the point anymore. I've gone over them so many times they've worn down to just the feeling they left, which is somehow worse because feelings don't have the edges that words do. You can argue with words, point to where they were wrong, show exactly where they missed, but feelings just sit there being what they are without giving you anything to push against. And these feelings have been sitting for a while now in that room in the back playing the same loop. And I don't know how to find the room, I don't know how to turn it off. I just know it's there, every time everything else goes quiet. Still hear it in the quiet, still hear it in the noise. Something said that shouldn't have been said, found a permanent frequency in the back of everything I do. Still hear it, won't stop, still hear it, can't turn it off. Echoes of the thing that left a mark, even after everything else faded. Everything else faded. You know what an echo is? It's not the original sound, it's what's left after the original sound has already ended. The thing that made the echo is already gone, but the echo keeps going. That's the part tells you about the things people say. The person can be gone, the moment can be gone, the relationship can be gone, and the echo just keeps going. And I'm tired of living in a room with the echo of something that doesn't even exist anymore. So I'm gonna do the only thing I know how to do. I'm gonna turn up everything else loud enough to drown it out, until I can't find the walls to bounce off of anymore. Still hear it in the quiet, still hear it in the noise. Something said that shouldn't have been said, found a permanent frequency. But I'm turning up everything else now. I'm turning up everything I have. Against the echo, against the loop, against the room in the back that kept it going. Still hear it, but it's getting quieter now. Still hear it, but I'm getting louder. Something changed in the bridge. Something that used to echo is finding less wall to bounce off of. And I'm broken, and that's okay. That's okay. I was saying it became the automatic answer to every question that got close enough to matter. How are you? Fine. How are you really fine? No, seriously, how are you? I'm fine. And somewhere in there, the fine became the wall, and the wall became the whole structure, and the structure was the only thing holding everything in place. And then one day, the structure got tired the way structures do when they've been holding too much for too long without anything holding them. And I felt it go all at once, and the word that came out wasn't fun. I'm broken, I'm done calling it something else. I'm broken, and it took everything I had just to say it out loud. I'm broken, not beyond repair, just broken right now. In this moment, on this floor, in this version of myself that finally stopped pretending. I'm broken, and that's okay. That's okay. There's a specific kind of tired that comes from holding yourself together past the point where together was still possible. It's not the tired that sleep fixes, it's the tired that lives underneath the sleep and it's still there when you wake up. I've been that kind of tired for longer than I want to admit, holding everything in place with less and less to hold it with, until there wasn't enough left to hold anything, and everything just came down. And the strange thing, the thing I didn't expect, is how quiet it was when it finally happened. Not loud, not dramatic, just done. And I sat in it for a while, in the quiet of everything that had come down. Stop pretending they aren't broken. The pretending is what keeps them broken, not the break itself. I've been pretending for a long time. I'm done pretending. I'm done pretending. Feels like the first true thing I've said in a long time. Broken, and I'm done calling it something else. I'm broken, and it took everything I had just to say it out loud. But I said it out loud for the first time, and the word didn't break me any more than I already was. I'm broken, and I'm still here. Broken, and still here. And still here is the part that matters. It's the part that matters. Something delicate, the sound of something that has been through everything and is still somehow here. The electronic elements enter beneath it, then the heavy guitar slowly rising like something that decided not to stay down. To know what the floor looks like from this angle, and I've been here before. Different floors, different reasons, same position. And every time I've gotten up, not because I knew I could, but because the floor eventually became less acceptable than the alternative. And the alternative was getting up without knowing if I could. I don't know if I'm ready, I don't know if I'm strong enough. I don't know if the thing that broke me left enough intact to build something worth building. But I'm getting up anyway, because the floor has had me long enough. Still breathing after everything. saw rising is one more time, then you fell. The sound of two things that were always connected, finally acknowledging it, something becoming clear after a long time of being blurred. Not piece by piece. One moment everything is blurred, the next everything is exactly what it is. And what it is not always what I wanted it to be. But wanting something to be different than it is was always the problem. I spent so long looking at everything through the version I needed to be, that when the version finally dropped, the actual thing was almost unrecognizable. And I can't unsee it now, the way things actually are. Not the way I needed them to be, not the way it was easier to believe they were the way they actually are. Wide awake now, everything is exactly what it is. Wide awake now, no more seeing what I wished, no more bending what was real to fit the shape of what I needed. Wide awake, and it's harder than sleeping was. Wide awake, and I'm not going back. Wide awake. The hardest part of seeing clearly is that you can't selectively apply it. You can't see one thing clearly and keep the comfortable blur around everything else. Once the clarity starts, it goes everywhere, into every corner of every version of things you've been keeping slightly out of focus. And some of those corners you were keeping blurred for very good reasons. Because what's in them is things you're gonna have to deal with now that you've seen them, and you can't unsee them. And dealing with them is not gonna be easy, but the blur was costing you more than the clarity will. So I let it go all the way. I let the clarity go everywhere. I let it show me everything I've been looking slightly away from. Wide awake now, everything is exactly what it is. Wide awake now, no more seeing what I wish, no more bending what was real to fit the shape of what I needed. Wide awake, and it's harder than sleeping was. Wide awake, and I'm not going back. Wide awake. You know what being wide awake means? It means you see everything, the good things, exactly as good as they are, and the bad things, exactly as bad as they are.